Welcome guys, my name is StoneMountain64 and today was actually the final day of the Battlefield Hardline beta. Yesterday was supposed to be the last day, but they gave us an extra one, and on top of that, today we got a preview of the next patch for Battlefield Hardline, including increased time to kill, decreased shotgun damage, as well as a change to the 338 rounds. You may be thinking a nerf, which it definitely was, but they also have some improved damage to vehicles. Yes, improved, depending on where you hit them, and we're going to go into that. As soon as I got home today, I went in and just gathered a ton of data. If you caught my upload from last night, I went through and broke down everything with the 338s. Well, that's all bunk now because of this patch and how much this has changed, which is actually kind of cool because we can juxtapose what it previously was to what we have now. And if you want the full data from that, you can check out the previous video, but we'll do a deep dive into the 338s, take a look at all the new graphs and comparisons at the end of this video. First, let's touch on some of the new information that we got from the patch notes for the other classes. And if you want more specific details on this, there's tons of data, of course, on this as well from the Synthic website, which I'll have linked in the description down below. So to start, let's take a more high-level approach. Gadgets. Cooldown for the meds and ammo packs has been decreased. That was driving me crazy trying to drop that thing, especially when I'm used to such shorter times in Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 3. They've also increased the resupply time that it takes to pick up breaching charges from the ammo crates. This is actually one of the only equipment pieces that you can pick up from the ammo crates, and by increasing the amount of time between each pickup, it'll take longer to resupply, hopefully decreasing the amount of spam we've been seeing from these. Now, in terms of weapons, we've had all of the pistols, assault rifles, and SMGs damage decreased, which is kind of sad to hear, especially about the SMGs. I thought their damage was right on point. I was enjoying that. The assault rifles definitely were strong, overpowering the carbines, and let's talk about that a bit. In addition to this news, we have the M16s and the M416 assault rifles damage being lowered, plus an increase in recoil. These things were like lasers, so especially compared to some of the other ones, so that feels like a nice balance. The RO933 had its damage decreased, which I was actually a bit surprised about, but I guess that's just because it is a carbine, and then it's also had its its recoil decrease, which it is good to hear. Past medium range for that, even burst firing it felt very inconsistent. For the SMGs, the Uzi has had its hip fire accuracy actually increase, and then the P90 has had its spread, or the bullet spray, spread out. It's increased. And then for shotguns, we have the SPAS 12 decreasing the amount of damage, and then the 870p, that shotgun that everybody's cross-mapping people with, not quite, but it's definitely doing a lot of damage from range, has had its range decrease, so it won't be as many one-shot kills from that far away. And now, speaking of one-shot kills, we gotta speak about the 338. The patch notes only mention that there's been a reduced efficiency in terms of its range, but there's quite a lot more going on here. The damage on infantry has definitely been nerfed, and it's pretty disappointing to me in particular. I loved the 338 rounds and how the feeling was, but it's actually been buffed in terms of vehicles. This is now a weapon attachment that is specifically designed to take down vehicles. And there's now a hitbox where you can deal up to 80 damage against helicopters and take them down in 2 shots pretty easily if you know where to do it. So let's first talk about the infantry and how this has changed. Originally, the 338s were designed, taking a look at the graph on the left, with the green line being our standard without the 338s, and the 338s being in yellow. Originally, these were designed to, you can see, drop off at 12 meters on standard shots, and after that point, you no longer get a one-shot, one-kill. The beauty of the 338s was that once you put it on, you had a 70-meter range where you can get one-shot, one-kills. That became extremely effective for medium range use, and which is why everybody was using this thing against infantry. If you take a look at the graph on the right though, this is the new data, and it has dramatically changed. Taking a look at this, you can see it's only up to 25 meters that you can now get your one-shot, one-kills, which is why you're going to immediately notice way more hit markers than you were experiencing previously. Decreasing the one-shot kill range by 45 meters is going to dramatically decrease the performance of this, but in addition, the long range was annihilated as well, as you can see, with the damage now going down to 50 damage at only 50 meters. We were one-shot killing people at 69 meters with the previous 338s. Now it's down to its minimum damage it'll deal to torso shots of 50 damage at 50 meters out, which means, yes, if you pick up a leg shot, you're only going to be doing 46 damage, and it could take 3-shot kills at any range past 50 meters, and the max damage you can even do to the legs is 92. So then why the hell would you ever use this thing? The answer is the helicopters and vehicle damage. The ground vehicles still take about the same, which is a very strong amount of damage, but when you're talking about the air vehicles, we have 2 new weak points where your damage is really going to skyrocket, especially at close range. The transport's helicopter's main weak point is anywhere in the middle, where the doors are or the windows, whether it's the front, back, left, right. And that's convenient because it's exactly where you're going to be shooting the dudes in the turrets at, right? It's a 2-shot kill if you're within 20 meters and a 4-shot any point past 50 meters. Now, the transports are weak 360 around if you shoot them in the middle. The difference with the attack helicopters, their main weakness is in the front. If you hit them inside where the pilot's sitting, I call it the inside, but if you shoot it head on, right, if it's coming at you, any point within 20 meters, you're going to deal 80 damage to the vehicle. So even if you miss the pilot, you're still going to be doing a tremendous amount of damage because that front windshield, the orange line there, is the weak point of this vehicle. Now you can hit it on the sides and still do a lot of damage as well, and if you hit it on the bottom or top, there is somewhat of a drop off as well, although it's not nearly as drastic as the transport where you want to hit that anywhere in the center. So then what's the verdict on the 338 rounds? In my mind, we were way too spoiled in the beta. The amount of damage that these bullets were doing to infantry as well as vehicles was insane. That's why everybody was playing as the sniper. Now, the sniper doesn't have quite as many things as it did in the past. It doesn't have the beacons to help it out, no longer has the C4. So by having the 338s and being more anti-air, especially with the mechanic no longer having the RPG off a spawn, you become more of a supportive role, and it is something that draws you to play the class, and not necessarily give you too much power where you're wrecking absolutely everybody and it's the ultimate class to choose. The thing is, when you were using the R700 or AWM, there really was only one situation you would ever use the straight pull, and that's if you're going to go sit in the back of the map or on top of a mountain just camping up and shooting long range, trying to pick up long range kills, because at that point the 338s don't even matter. Now creating the potential to get a 3-shot kill makes it a little bit more balanced out and gives you some more incentive to use the straight pull for the situations you're going to be using. I think the 338s are still going to be extremely effective because if you're going to get a 2-shot, you're going to get a 2-shot. And at this point, you're comparing the standard versus normal, not the beta versus now. And as much as it pains me to say it, I think the game is more balanced by having those rounds weaker and some of the tweaks that they've made in here. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about any of these changes that you had some thoughts on. I'll keep on top of any additional changes that come because this is still the beta, and once the full game drops, there probably will be a couple things different. So subscribe if you are new, click the thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. If you're looking for something else to watch, check out my previous video where I showcased all the older data from the snipers and had some cool gameplay with that. Or check out the recommended video to see the 300 knockout with how to unlock it and some gameplay that the knockout hasn't changed, so there's something that's the same. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. This is SoMouse64, signing out.